My name's Laura Delaney. I want to welcome you to Rediscovered Books. We have been having very good luck with having authors coming in on Friday nights, and I'm really pleased to say that Sarah Tregay is one of these Friday night authors. Now, the reason we set up this in this little kind of a way, I'm going to do my Terry Gross impersonation. I'm not Terry Gross. However, it's really fun to have this as a conversation, and so we're going to have an interview here, but there's certainly, if you have a question or if you want to bring in a comment, please do. We're a nice cozy group here tonight. So Sarah Tregay has written a book called Love and Leftovers, and it looks very intimidating for a teen to read. But when you open it up, you'll see it's actually all in verse. And so what I'd like to do is, I'd like to start off with asking you why you picked a verse format for your young adult book. I know why I enjoy them, but I'd like to hear about why you chose that.
Well, the first answer is I had written 4 manuscripts in prose, and none of them sold anywhere. And so I was getting a little tired of those rejection letters. They were getting stacked pretty thick. And so I was just like, okay, I gotta either find something new, a new hobby, or I need to find a new way to write. And I am a huge fan of Sonia Sones, and I had met Ellen Hawkins several times, and I have this huge collection of novels in verse. So I was just like, okay, well I gotta give this a try. So I was reading a lot of Sonia Sones when I started thinking about this book, and so that was very helpful to be inspired by one of the greats.
We had a book group here before the book came out with some of the teenagers, and we talked a lot about where these characters came from, and who Linus is, and that there's a lot of homages in this book to other characters and people. At the risk of, I don't want you to give away everything, but can you tell us a little bit about where some of those ideas came from and why Linus is Linus?
Yes, So yeah, there's little bits that I stole from people in my life, like the really interesting things that they do. Like my little sister from Big Brothers Big Sisters, one day she shows up and she's got 2 different socks on, like stripes and argyle. They have no fabric over the toes, they're so old. And I'm just like, and this is probably one of those days where I told you, would you please dress up? We're going someplace nice. And she just I was looking at her socks and she just gave me the hairy eyeball. And so there's somebody in here that, doesn't match her socks. And, but I didn't just pluck people off of a tree and put them in here. I kind of took the girl who doesn't match her socks also is one of my childhood best friends who plays the bass guitar. So kind of take those interesting little parts of people. And the Linus thing, Linus is a nickname. You figure out what his real name is. But I had a boyfriend named Linus in college. And so there's a lot of Peanuts characters references in there, including the 2 main characters, Marcy and Linus.
One of the other places that I really find myself curious about is, of course, it's a teenage novel. You have to have a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you were talking about how you were like, okay, what are some of the worst things that could happen to somebody if you're a teenager?
Mm-hmm.
And how to overcome it. Can you talk? I'd like you to tell a little bit of that story about how you came up with what is there to be the catastrophe in this girl's life. And where
So if you read teen lit, the story normally goes that the main character is a good person, and their best friend is a good person too, and they're best friends up until the point. And then the best friend does something horrible, and it all blows up in the main character's face, and she ends up hurt. And it's this best friend that's always turns into the bad character. And so I said, well, I can't write that story. That story has been written over and over again. My best friend wronged me. And so I decided, well, I want the main character to be the one that is wronging everybody, that is making the mistakes. And it was a huge challenge to see if I can get, the person who makes the worst mistakes to be likable. And so that was my first goal, was that I was going to flip that over and have the main character trying to hurt her best friend and the people around her, as opposed to. So that was a big flip-flop idea. And then, but I had like 4 manuscripts that didn't sell. And my critique group, we're always just like, Sarah, it's too quiet. Of course it's not going to sell. It's quiet. It's boring. And so I started making a list of all those terrible things that could happen to a teenager. And so it started off with being away from my friends and being away from home. And so Marcy gets stuck on summer vacation. And what's worse than being away from home? Having to go to a new school where you don't know anyone. And so she has to go to a new school. And, you know, that whole walk into the cafeteria and not know where to sit down. Yeah, that's really big in a lot of teenagers' lives. So I had that going on, but okay, well, yeah, been done before. And so I keep adding to this list of things that that are going to go wrong for her, and I'm just like, well, I need a Whopper. And I'm just like, okay, a Whopper. Okay, so Dad just came out of the closet, now has a boyfriend, and, well, Mom is pretty darn upset about this. So it's going to look like Mom's never going to go home from the summer vacation. And so once I had my list of terrible things and my basic idea that she was going to be the one that's going to do something wrong, I had my beginning and I had my problem. And from there, I just started writing random poems. So, you know, if I bumped into your bumper at a stoplight because I was writing, I'm sorry. And then I took all the poems and then I collated them into the story after they were written.
So I'd love to hear another poem that lets us hear Marcy as she's confronting this challenge.
An explanation. My mother took 2 weeks off back in June. I asked her in July what we were doing. I think she meant to say vacationing, but she said running away, which might have been okay, even though I thought that if I ever ran away, I'd do it with a certain emo-sensitive rocker boy, and not my mother.
So I see you have some other pieces flagged in there to read tonight.
Yes.
Can I ask you to pick another one of those?
Sure. Let's see. So Marcy is talking on the phone with her father. She hasn't seen her father for about 4 months. And he asks, "You cut your hair?" So I have to tell him the whole haircut story. It started with a bad hair day because 3 months of swimming in Great Bay and attempting to wash my hair in the trickle of well water that resembled a shower left my once straight, long hair tangled and sticking out like a wilted afro and feeling like it was well on its way to dreadlocking itself. Therapy. My great-grandmother, Gigi, told me that I should wash it with apple cider vinegar, because I'm a brunette, and condition it with mayonnaise, not Miracle Whip, in order to get clean, straight shampoo commercial hair. Needless to say, I smelled like potato salad for 3 days. Until I marched into town, plunked my butt in a salon chair, and told the lady to cut it off. I didn't expect her to put the scissors between my ponytail holder and the back of my head. I didn't expect my hair to fall on the floor in just one soft volume. My head felt instantly lighter, the back of my neck cooler, and the smell of salad dressing had faded just a little bit.
So please stay. Sarah's going to be signing copies of the book for as long as people are here to listen and talk to her some more. If you have other questions, we'd be delighted to have you here. Thank you again for coming out to our bookstore tonight. I hope you had a really good time.